Hi everyone, meteorologist Chad Evans here, and I'm trying something a little bit different. Hopefully I'm chipper enough. A lot of times in the early morning I am pretty exhausted, though I try to really focus on putting a good forecast together, but an early morning video here, and occasionally I might actually try to do this. And so I thought, well, this might be a good morning to try it out. But as always, the videos are sponsored by Trent Johnson State Farm. TrentIsMyAgent.com. So we are generally in the 30s this morning, but we're really not getting a lot of frost because we've got a little bit of a breeze and we've got some cloudiness around. The bigger frost issues will come tonight after what's going to be a day of sunshine and some cloudiness around and kind of breezy conditions. With time though, once we get rid of the frost tomorrow morning, and we have kind of a cold to chilly Tuesday with a brisk northeast wind, we will not have a freeze on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, because the wind will turn to the southeast. We'll get some cloudiness, and Wednesday is going to be much warmer. We'll have warmer advection coming in on Tuesday night, and then a clipper comes through Thursday with a couple spotty thunder showers before it gets warm, it gets humid, it gets active with rain and storms for the upcoming weekend once again. And then we have a period of more frost and freezing, followed by a warm up, a long period of dry weather, and then it gets really active late April and into early May. So the reason why we're going to get the better chance of frost and freezing tonight, I mean, this morning's chilly enough. Today's going to be a cool day, though not terrible, but tonight we're going to get into the 20s to around 30 degrees because any low clouds we have left over, cumulus clouds we've got, will disperse this evening, burn off, and the only thing we're going to get are just a few high-thin cirrus clouds from the west, which will do little to keep heat in. We'll have a little bit of a north to northeast breeze coming in, but there won't be likely enough mixing to, and it's certainly, we're getting no warm air from the north or east or northeast of our area. So even with a hint of a breeze tonight, we're still going to drop into the 20s to around 30 degrees. But then the warm-up begins Wednesday. It's warmer Thursday. We do have a kind of a clipper type system north of our area that will pass. It is right here. A few thunder showers come through. The front comes through, then goes back north as a warm front. And then notice the rounds of storms we get. Multiple rounds of showers and storms, blocking ridge here, front kind of stalling. So multiple rounds of storms over several days for the area with warm, humid, unstable conditions. And we're going to get some severe weather risk too. I do think we'll at least get some slight risk for severe in our area. This data right here shows you the areas of severe weather from the plains and then moving into the Midwest as well. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, back to Texas, and then up to Nebraska and parts of Iowa. That is for the upcoming weekend. And then after that, I still think we're going to get a frost and a freeze with lows in the 27 to 32 range, perhaps 3 nights. More than likely, well, I'm confident of 2 nights. Maybe we'll get 3 out of the deal, but some more frost and freezing is ahead. So don't go out and plant those tomatoes just yet. Then we warm back up after a long period of dry weather. So we get the frost again, it warms up back into the 80s, and we get more severe weather at the end of the month and into early May. Lots of severe weather in the plains, some big tornado outbreaks are expected, and we get the leftovers of those with severe weather risk late April and May. It's that 27th through 5th time frame is what I'm watching. And I had this graphic from yesterday. I still think we're going to have 2 big negatively tilted bowling ball upper troughs coming from the west, and as this negatively tilted upper trough comes in, violent weather right here, and we get in on some of that as a couple of these big bowling balls come through the plains, and we see more wet weather ahead. Again, this has been the trend, late March to mid-April, wet weather, Texas to New York, and that's been the case for a while with a blocking upper ridge in the southeast. Gets drier though, 14th through the 26th, our area to New York. a long stretch where it's just not raining much, so soils will dry. It's cold at first with some frost, and then we warm up eventually into the low 80s again. Wet down here, and then the wetness goes to the plains as it gets very active here, and then eventually more of that active weather comes into our area 27th of April to May the 5th, and that's that storminess I was showing you. So not as much rain. I've been showing this graphic for a while. I still agree with it. The heavy rains down here, 14th through the 20th, were better. Not much rain, 21st through the 22nd. Much more intense storm action and rainfall here, and then the axis spreads out and eventually moves eastward for rain and storms here, and the rain's going to add up. 3-inch plus rains during that time frame for our area. So for today, pretty brisk day, pretty breezy to all out windy. Gusts 26 to 35 from the west-northwest. And after these 30s this morning, we got a high of 53 this afternoon. Sunshine, clouds around 2. 51 Rochester, 52 Monticello, 54 Crawfordsville, 57 Cayuga, 54 at Fowler. Now tonight, here comes the cold, the frost, the freezing, the winds going lighter, the winds turning to the northeast. Mostly clear to clear skies, 26 to 30. Most vegetation will not be hurt at all by this, and especially your native plants, your native trees. They can handle frost and freezing like this. But if you put out some early stuff and you got house plants out, well, you want to bring those in. And if you planted marigolds way early, you'll want to cover those up tonight. With 27 at Logansport and Flora, 28 Pine Village and Remington. We're down to 30 at Cayuga, mid-20s Wheatfield to Winnemac, and 28 degrees for the low tonight at Peru. The record 7 set in 1982. That is the coldest temperature ever recorded in the month of April for Greater Lafayette. Some of you might remember 1982. Unusually cold during the month of April, especially early to mid-April. And then we look for tomorrow. So the record coldest high is 30 set in 82. So the cold, look at that, we got a record low, and then we got a record low high set in 82 for Tuesday. The record high 82 set in 2020, not that long ago. Winds kicking up from the northeast, the frost and the freeze in the morning giving way to a cold to chilly day. It's only 49. Sunshine, some clouds around. 44 Rochester, 47 Monticello, 51 Cayuga, 48 at Lebanon, 48 Fowler, up to Morocco. So only 44 to 52 for high temperatures. But at least we're 67 on Wednesday. The wind going to the southwest, only 36. So better for Wednesday morning. A few thunder showers Thursday, 70, 73 Friday, 80 Saturday, 82 Sunday, humid, windy, 2 or 3 rounds of storms, some severe weather risks, storms a week from today with highs in the 80s, and then it gets cooler. A week from Wednesday, highs only in the 50s. There's the frost and the freezing, April 15th through the 17th, and then warmer but drier pattern, April 18th through the 22nd.